Thank you. This will be in English. For English, press 1. No other choices. So I'm Debbie Levitt, and my company is called P-Type, short for prototype, because I build a lot of UX prototypes. I've been doing UX strategy and design since 1995. I know some of you remember 1995. And basically, I wanted to come and talk to you guys about, you can also feel free to tweet at me or LinkedIn at me. I'm very friendly online as well as in real life. I'm also happy to take questions. And so I'm here to tell you some of the cringeworthy stories. I don't know any German words, so I don't know the correct German word for going like, but that's hopefully the reaction you will be giving me when you hear some of these stories about a job I had in San Francisco for a Fortune 500 company where I was a high-level UX person. And my point in telling you these ridiculous stories, and only some of them, not all of them, because we only have a half hour, is that we just can't measure agility by the same old metrics. We can't just look at how productive teams were, how efficient they were, and how many story points we got to in this sprint. Because if we're building things that have no customer value, if we're killing our corporate culture, or if we're hurting customer satisfaction, then it doesn't matter how well our agile or engineering processes went. Because we're burning money and we're throwing our time away at these bad ideas or bad executions. Because, of course, without customer satisfaction, you have no customers. And that's where user experience should come in. But it doesn't always come in. I'm sure can I ask how many people in the audience don't have any UX workers at their company at all? Yeah, so it looks like about a quarter or so. It's still common that not everybody has UX involved, and even those who do are often hiring the wrong people or processes aren't in place. So I want to tell you some stories about a company who thought they had all their stuff together. They were boasting about how lean and agile they were, but I want to show you what the picture was really like so that you can go back to your company, maybe poke around a little bit and see if these types of things are happening there, so that hopefully somebody will fix it. And of course, DevOps goals are closer to getting it right because they'll take into consideration, are we building the right product? Are we shooting for customer satisfaction? And so again, we just can't measure time to market and productivity and efficiency. So let's jump in. So one of the projects that I was on at this company, a product manager came to me and said, I found data that said that 21% of our mobile web users aren't filtering their search results. And this was a company that did a lot of online shopping. Can't say who. Don't go read my LinkedIn and try to guess who it is. You never will. So nobody's filtering these search results. 21%. So we're going to build a product that pushes them to filter their search results. And of course, as a UX person, I said, well, do we really need that? Does the customer want that? Can you slice out that data for me and tell me, are those people unhappy? Are we getting complaints from them? Are they buying less? Are they buying less often? Give me something. If you want to talk about data, give me some good data. Magically, they never got back to me, and of course, the project went forward. And my thought was, perhaps they don't need to filter. If you're doing a really good search, if you are saying size 8, skinny, guess, jeans, blue, maybe you don't need filters. Maybe you got exactly what you wanted. I'm not sure there's a problem here. But of course, magically, the project went on. And when it came to shoe sizes, I ended up in a 2-week fight with a woman. I don't remember her title, but it was something to do with data. And she thought that we should organize shoe sizes in the order of how many products we have in that size. So every time you were going to pull up search results, your shoe sizes would be in a different order, because now we have more in a size 9. Last week we had more in a size 7, and she wanted shoe sizes to look like that. And my thought was, holy cats, in 20 years I've never had to fight with someone about should numbers go in number order. But she fought with me for 2 weeks on this and even pulled me into side rooms like, we're not collaborating very well. I think we need to align more. I don't know if you guys say things like this to each other in your corporate experiences. We need to align more. And I said, yes, can we get aligned on numbers going in number order? It really doesn't make sense from a UX perspective to show people these out-of-order sizes and make them have to scan for their size and make them different. Well, the product manager decided we just weren't going to include sizes in this at this time, and hopefully avoid continued fighting. But I said to the product manager, this is something we shouldn't even build. No one's proven that this has real value for our customer. And in fact, I think it's just going to clutter the screen and add unnecessary complexity. And I said, I predict, and it's my job to predict, I predict that next year, someone from the UX department will spin up a project to simplify this screen. And when they do, this project is going to be removed. And then people are going to look at you and wonder why you spent the company's money and time on it. And of course, he didn't listen to that either. So the project goes on. Of course, the end of that story was it went live. It didn't do that well. And funny enough, someone in UX spun up a simplification project the next year, and it got taken off the page. So everything I said came true, not that anybody noticed. But this is a story about another project. This was musical projects where I worked. I don't know if this happens where you work. But this was where I got called into a kickoff meeting. I first learned what the project was about. I'd never heard at all what we were doing. Everybody introduced themselves. Here's what we're doing. And then the project manager looks at me and says, okay, UX, we need finalized wireframes from you in 2 days. Now, I don't know how much you guys know about what UX does, but we have a cyclical process of researching, building, testing, iterating, fixing. So there's a whole process, kind of like your dev and QA, that we want to go through before engineers build anything. And she wanted to give me 2 days for that when it normally can take longer. And I asked her, why did I only get 2 days? Because, of course, I hadn't been involved in the planning or estimation where I could have told her I needed more time. And she said, well, we think you just draw boxes on a page, and we think that takes an hour. So we were really generous, and we gave you 2 days. And I said, okay, but this takes longer than 2 days if we want to do a good job. And she said, well, if you need more time, I'll just tell your manager that you're derailing the project. And I said, okay, I'll see what I can do. And that one didn't end well either. None of these end well. Let's just say this is a storytelling time with no happy endings. But I think that matches European storytelling from, centuries past. This one was a different project, which I'll tell you more about, but I went into a giant cross-functional meeting. There had to be 20 people in that room, and we had our lean triad. Anybody doing the lean triad thing at their jobs? Anybody? No? Good. Okay, so we had this meeting, and some engineers were showcasing some of their code, and it was stuff I'd never seen before. I hadn't designed that, so I didn't know where they got it from. And they proudly announced that they had decided to design the product themselves, even though we have UX on the team, and they had just built it. And the engineering guy from the Lean Triad, who's like this overseeing body, he started howling with laughter. I don't want to break the speakers, but it was almost like out of a movie, like the evil, and he was thrilled to pieces. And I'm thinking, what is so great about this? And he started yelling to a silent, stunned room, UX is lean waste, and I celebrate my programmers eliminating waste. And everyone just kind of looked at him, and he was like, that's how it's done. And it was extremely bizarre to have been classified as lean waste. I don't know if anybody here is trying to do lean, but this may be news to you then. Your product designer, the person designing what you're building, is not, we're not waste, I promise. Maybe you don't have the best workers where you are, but I promise we're not lean waste. But I have a story to tell you about lipstick. I recognize this is a slightly masculine room. Not everybody here probably wears lipstick. Maybe you've attempted to buy it for someone. Maybe you've seen it in stores, but it's still a disaster. So this is Sephora. I didn't work for Sephora. I'm just showing you their screen because they do it right. And the idea was Sephora was selling you could get a subscription. Every month you would get a box of beauty samples. You might get a lipstick in pink tea color. And then you might want to come back and buy the larger size because the sample was so great. The company I worked at was trying to do the same project. But what Sephora does right, that we were headed for not doing right, was when you went back to the web page to see what was in your box that month and you clicked on the lipstick, they took you to the page, but they selected, instead of the default color, they selected the color they had sent you in the sample box. Pink tea seems obvious. It's something you didn't even think about. You didn't imagine you would get to a page and there would be the wrong color. But that's what my company wanted to build. That's right. I tried to remind people, pink tea, we got to match it all up. I tried to remind people, lipsticks seem to come in 2 zillion shades of pink and red. It's so hard to tell the difference. But the product manager said, no, I think people will notice that the color we sent them isn't the same color as the one on the web page we're about to sell them. And the engineer said, we don't feel like building this. This would take time. We don't want to do it. I said, that is the worst excuse I've ever heard. So I tried to tell them, we need to do this. The customer's going to make a mistake. But they didn't believe me. So I decided to create extra UX documentation. I decided to show the disastrous customer journey map of what it would look like if the customer bought something from us and then was sent the wrong color when they tried to do what we wanted them to do, which is buy the bigger version. So, step 1, customer gets a sample in their box. Their lipstick is Merlot. It's lovely. They want to buy one. They go back to our website, they click on that lipstick, they get taken to the page, and the page shows them the default color is Baby Kiss. They might not remember what they got, so they just click buy because they trust us, or maybe they've used Sephora, and they're going to move forward with that purchase. Well, I don't know if you noticed how different those are, but it's easy to not notice it. Step 3, customer orders Baby Kiss. Customer receives Baby Kiss. Customer realizes that is not what they wanted. And now they're furious. Well, they messed up. I can't believe I ordered from these people and they messed it up. Now what am I going to do? I guess I have to call customer service. But first I'm going to tweet about how angry I am. And so then they call customer service. And customer service will probably say, this is my presentation to the team, all right, you ordered Baby Kiss, you got Baby Kiss. Ma'am, we can't find the problem here. I don't see what went wrong. You got a subscription box? Yeah, we don't know what's in the subscription box. Ma'am, all I know is you ordered Baby Kiss, you got Baby Kiss. If you want to return it, you have 30 days to go to the store and return it if we still have a store open in your area. Angry customer now has to go to the store to deal with this. Do you guys have this meme? I'd like to speak to your manager. Did this make it here? This is very American. I didn't know if this made it here, but they claim there is a haircut. If you see this haircut on a woman, she wants to speak to the manager. So our customer feels deceived. We lied to her. We sent her Merlot, then we sent her Baby Kiss. Now she has to go to the store. That's it. Cancel my subscription box. I've had it. I just wanted a lipstick. Spent $30 on a lipstick. I didn't want all this trouble. Get rid of all of it. Well, that's not enough because she's American. And so she takes to Facebook to tell the whole world how much she hates our store, and of course she posts this to the store. Now this was all a presentation that I did to show what is possible to happen if we do this to a customer. If we don't do this simple engineering task of making the color match the one when she clicks on the page, you just tag it, she came from this page, she comes here, we show a different default color. That's all I wanted. And 5 meetings later, they agreed to do it. And the reality is that, and scene. The reality is that that shouldn't take that many meetings, but this is what happens in this universe when people are focused on the wrong thing and they don't have UX or they're not listening to UX. And would we still have been a fantastically lean, agile team or company if we had set the customer up to fail like that? Can we still slap ourselves on the back? Was it great that we built efficiently? That was the same project where where UX was lean waste and the engineers were designing their own thing. Should we still celebrate that if we had set our customer up to make a mistake? I would say no. But wait, there's more. I was put on another project, not at Amazon. That would have been good. But I'm just showing you the Amazon screen, again, as an example, since I don't want to show you the real company. So I was on a project where the engineering lead loved to overrule everything I said. No matter what I said, it was the wrong idea. Excuse me. So we had a few screens in the app. Just a few screens were going to be ours, because we were building a method by which if you had our app and you were in our store, the GPS would recognize you. You could scan some items with the barcode scanner in our app. You could pay through the app, and you could walk out of the store. And these were just going to be a few screens in our existing app. And I had designed some stuff for this, and I handed it in. And the engineering lead said, "Oh, no, no, no. We need to remove the shopping cart icon from the top of the screen." And I said, "The shopping cart icon's on every screen in our app. That's how people get to the checkout." He said, "No, it would be cleaner if it didn't have a shopping cart icon." I said, "Okay, let's see what that looks like." Okay, smarty, how are they going to check out? "I think we should have a big red checkout button on the bottom of the screen. You know, nobody will miss a big red checkout button." I said, "Well, you know, the colorblind might miss a red checkout button. They'll see it as gray." He said, no, this is the best idea, and it's cleaner." So I was like, okay, I can't win this fight. So they actually built it. But of course, they built it, they QA'd it, they got it out in the app. It went out into the wild, but luckily it was out in a store where we were piloting this. And I had warned them it was very likely that somebody could use the app, not really understand the checkout, and walk out the store with some things, which of course would lead to our security people jumping on them. They said, no. And remember, I'm in the business of predicting human behavior. So, of course, what happened? Customers scanned a bunch of things. They went into the app. They pressed the checkout button, and they thought, oh, this is a one-click checkout like Amazon. I'm done. And went to walk out of the store. And they came back to me, and they said, hey, this didn't work. Can you fix it? I said, yes, let's go back to my original designs, like maybe the shopping cart icon, like this thing that everybody else uses in our app 9 zillion times a day. And they said, no, we want you to make our idea work. I said, well, your idea didn't work. Yeah, but your UX, you should know how to make it work. I said, okay, geniuses, how should I do that? They said, add more text. It needs more instructions. Tell people, when you click checkout, the next page, you're not done yet. You're going to need to fill out the whole checkout. And I said, nobody read the page they went to see that it wasn't the end of their process. Adding more text is bad UX. It means we didn't build something intuitive. We think you're too stupid to figure it out. Here's some text that we know you're not going to read. So this is where ego got in the way. And UX shouldn't have ego. If you have UX people at your company and they have high ego, they're probably not really UX people. Sorry, don't show them this video. And this team, unfortunately, had a lot of ego on it. And we have to be prepared for our ideas to fail a little bit or a lot when we do user testing. But these guys obviously weren't prepared for that. They had too much pride. And of course, we're killing customer value if we allow things to be an ego show. And of course, as all of this was being battled, you'll be very surprised to hear that these guys went to my manager and said, we don't need Debbie on the project anymore. We're just going to spend the rest of the fiscal year working on tech backlog. We have enough UX designs for now. We're just going to work on tech backlog. So my manager said, okay, and he assigned me to another project. You can see how I moved through projects so quickly and so often. But you have to know that's not the end of that story. Because these guys were fantastic enough to assign me to JIRA tickets when they wanted to overrule my UX designs. Because according to them, my UX designs were bugs. So I was assigned to JIRA tickets, but someone forgot to unassign me when they threw me off the project. So when they told them that me and my manager didn't need any UX designs, I started getting emails from JIRA. New designs tickets updated, designs added. Ready for dev, ready for QA, being released. And I went, of course, to my manager and said, hey, check out what these guys are doing. They lied. And he said, no, they said they're just going to work on tech backlog. I said, well, I'll forward you some JIRA statuses. And of course, he blew his top and he put someone else on it. They were probably very proud of their efficiency now that I wasn't there. Now that I wasn't there to check and balance their crappy ideas. They probably thought they were super efficient, super agile, without me getting in the way to try to be the customer advocate. So, well, gee, if we really want to move fast, why don't we just get rid of QA? Our engineers are fantastic. They would never make a mistake. Let's go really fast and just skip QA. We'll get to market even faster. And sometimes people hear my stories and they say, well, Deb, you just sound like a whiny American. Where were your managers? Why didn't they help you out? And I say, because they were awful. So there was one manager in the group where I escalated something to him, and I'll never forget his response. It was a one-line email, and it said, "You're a big girl. Figure it out." So I said, okay, I am, and I will, but thanks, non-manager. Thanks, you're really going to be there for me. And we had an awful new vice president of UX who sent out strange emails like, here's what Gartner says we're going to have to build in e-commerce 10 years from now. And my thought was, cool, what do I do now with my projects now? And what do I do now about people who are age 7 who will be shopping in 10 years like this report talks about? I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. But really the worst was when this VP sent out this email telling us that, it's not enough to just show people a barcode icon. They might not know what to do with a barcode icon, even though it's in the Amazon app and all over the place. And he compared it to this Thomas the Tank Engine toddler app. It was an app for children around 2, and the app walks through a tutorial. Hey kids, press the button, say hi to Thomas. Oh, very good. You press the button, you said hi to Thomas. And this was the VP of UX's suggestion that this is what we should do in an e-commerce app for a Fortune 100-ish company that was selling to adults with spare money. So my thought was, hi, shopper. Do you want to scan something with the barcode? Well, great. Click the barcode icon. You can do it. That's it, shopper. You've done a great job. It's totally Clippy. Thank you for someone who remembers Clippy. Do you remember Clippy getting drunk when he got fired? That was the best. He was, I see you are writing a letter. So my suggestion to everyone is learn and act. This is lean, but I know we're talking more about agile, but still, agile teams and organizations need to focus on so much more than methodologies and measurements of agility, because if we're not building what's valuable to and desired by customers, and who cares if estimations were accurate, productivity was good, and efficiency was glorious? Does not matter. These are all stories of a crappy culture, bad process, and celebrations of lean and agile where celebrations were not deserved. And what would have happened if I hadn't worked so hard to block all of these bad ideas? Throughout my time at this company, a lot of managers seemed to take great pleasure in telling me and other UX practitioners that we weren't being lean or agile whenever we did anything. And then the workers would join in, and it seemed to be the cool thing to say to UX people if you wanted to try to shut them up. But are we more lean and agile when we move so fast that we're disregarding customer feedback and customer needs or product value? People are starting to notice that move fast and break things sounded really cool until we found out customers hate when we break things. And we have competitors, so they might leave. And is this going on at your company where you work? I want you to go back and be detectives and then report to me. So go back to your companies and check on what's going on with UX, and don't ask the VP of UX. He might be part of the problem. If you're a coach, a leader, an executive, a manager, a business transformation person, or other change agent, please look outside your usual people. Go talk to the UX practitioners themselves. And because when UX does research and we want to know more about you, we don't talk to your mom or your husband or your wife. We talk to you. We don't talk to your boss. Go talk to the UX workers themselves and learn what's working and what's not working in their processes, workflows, and teams and collaboration. Learn where portfolio isn't giving them the time or budget to do their job. And don't congratulate yourself for the same old metrics. Redefine what agility and success mean to your company and your customers. The end. And they didn't live happily ever after. Thank you.